Question. Since, by means of a single instance, one may surmise the nature of all, on hearing your brief remarks about the Lotus Sutra, I feel that my ears and eyes have been clearly opened for the first time. But how can one understand the Lotus Sutra so as to quickly reach the shore of enlightenment? I have heard it said that only one for whom the sun of wisdom shines unclouded in the great sky of the 3,000 realms in a single moment of life, and for whom the water of wisdom in the broad pond of the threefold contemplation in a single mind is clear and never muddled, has the capacity to carry out the practice of this sutra. But I have never exerted myself to study the various schools of the southern capital of Nara, and so I know nothing of the doctrines of the treatise on the stages of yoga practice and the treatise on the consciousness-only doctrine, and my eyes are equally unopened with respect to the teachings of the northern peak of Hai, and so I am quite confused about the significance of the works, great concentration and insight, and the profound meaning of the Lotus Sutra. With regard to the Tendai and Dharma characteristics schools, I am like a person with a pot over his head, who is standing with his face to the wall. It would seem, therefore, that my capacity is not suited to the Lotus Sutra. What am I to do? Answer. It is the way of scholars these days to assert that only those who possess superior wisdom and strenuously exert themselves in the practice of meditation have the capacity to benefit from the Lotus Sutra, and to discourage persons who lack wisdom from even trying. But this is in fact an utterly ignorant and erroneous view. The Lotus Sutra is the teaching that enables all living beings to attain the Buddha way. Therefore, the persons of superior faculties and superior capacity should naturally devote themselves to contemplation and to meditating on the law. But for persons of inferior faculties and inferior capacity, the important thing is simply to have a heart of faith. Hence, the sutra says, quote, "If there are good men or good women who believe and revere it with pure hearts and harbor no doubts or perplexities, they will never fall into hell or the realm of hungry spirits or of beasts, but will be born in the presence of the Buddhas of the 10 directions." Close quote. One should have complete faith in the Lotus Sutra and look forward to being born in the presence of the Buddhas in one's next life. To illustrate, suppose a person is standing at the foot of a tall embankment and is unable to ascend. And suppose there is someone on top of the embankment who lowers a rope and says, "If you take hold of this rope, I will pull you up to the top of the embankment." If the person at the bottom begins to doubt that the other has the strength to pull him up, or wonders if the rope is not too weak and therefore refuses to put forth his hand and grasp it, then how is he ever to get to the top of the embankment? But if he follows the instructions, puts out his hand, and takes hold of the rope, then he can climb up. If one doubts the strength of the Buddha when he says, "I am the only person who can rescue and protect others," if one is suspicious of the rope held out by the Lotus Sutra when its teachings declare that one can gain entrance through faith alone, if one fails to chant the mystic law which guarantees that such a person assuredly and without doubt will attain the Buddha way, then the Buddha's power cannot reach one, and it will be impossible to scale the embankment of enlightenment. Therefore the sutra states, quote, "If with regard to this sutra one should harbor doubt and fail to believe, one will fall at once into the evil paths." Close quote. When one has had the rare good fortune to be born a human being, and further good fortune to encounter the teachings of Buddhism, how can one waste this opportunity? If one is going to take faith at all, then among all the various teachings of the Mahayana and Hinayana, provisional and true doctrines, one should believe in the one vehicle, the true purpose for which the Buddhas came into the world, and the direct path to attaining enlightenment for all living beings. That is why the Lotus Sutra states, quote, "A person who can accept and uphold this sutra is foremost among all living beings." Close quote. There is no question about these golden words of the great sage, and yet people fail to understand this principle or to examine the matter, but instead seek worldly reputation or give way to suspicion and prejudice. All I wish is that you will embrace this sutra and cast your name upon the sea of the vows made by the Buddhas of the 10 directions, that you entrust your honor to the heaven that is the compassion of the bodhisattvas of the 3 existences. One who thus embraces the Lotus Sutra will cause the heavenly gods, dragons, and the other of the 8 kinds of non-human beings, as well as all the great bodhisattvas, to become one's followers. The blessings gained by arousing even a single moment of faith in and understanding of the Lotus Sutra surpass those of practicing the 5 paramitas, and the benefit enjoyed by the 50th person who rejoices on hearing the Lotus Sutra is greater than that acquired by giving alms for 80 years. The doctrine of the immediate attainment of enlightenment far outshines the doctrines of other scriptures, and the pronouncements concerning the revelation of the Buddha's original enlightenment and his immeasurable lifespan are never found in any other teachings. Thus it was that the 8-year-old dragon girl was able to come out of the vast sea and in an instant give proof of the power of this sutra, and superior practices of bodhisattva of the essential teaching emerged from beneath the great earth and thereby demonstrated the unfathomably long lifespan of the Buddha. This is the King of Sutras, defying description in words, the wonderful law that is beyond the mind's power to comprehend.